5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Welcome to the GHT Overland podcast, where we visit with overland travelers and explorers around the globe, learning from their experiences and enjoying their stories.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Lisa. We are from a little city called Washougal in Washington State, known as the entrance to the Columbia River Gorge. Today's featured guests are us.
That's awesome.
So we hope this finds you tackling your goals and desires in life with tenacity. Not only are we grateful for your support and listening to our show, we're humbled by your messages and notes telling us you're enjoying the interviews. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on your app of choice.
Yep, good advice. And I know you guys hear this all the time from podcast people and YouTubers, all kinds of creators, but really for us and other shows that you listen to, it is super helpful to make sure that that we show up when somebody does a search. So our goal is to reach as many overlanders as possible by you subscribing, rating, and reviewing each individual show is a huge help in us being able to do that. Let us know if your preferred app of choice for podcasts is not hosting the GHT Overland podcast. You should be able to find it with just doing a simple search for GHT Overland, hopefully even Overland. At some point in time, the show will just show up. So if it's not showing up on your app of choice, let us know so that we can address that and get links over to that app so that it shows up for you.
So to keep up with a little bit of what we're doing, currently in social media, primarily our Instagram page, then onto Facebook, and a little Twitter is the best way. So our primary focus right now is lining up additional interviews and getting them edited for release dates.
Yeah, a lot of time is being spent getting people lined up, getting them scheduled. Time zones have been super interesting, so we've learned a little bit about that and came up with a better way to do it. So that's super cool. But yeah, mostly Instagram. And that's, as Lisa had mentioned, those are the best ways to keep up with what we're doing. We're doing as many weekend day trips, whatever we can do as summer rolls around. Currently it's rainy and 50. Typical Pacific Northwest weather for where we live. Anywhere between 40 degrees and 50 degrees and anywhere from raining to
wind,
misty.
And windy.
And windy because we're in the Columbia River Gorge. But that's kind of the gig. If you didn't see it, be sure to go over to the Instagram and check that out. We did a really cool trip to the Columbia River Gorge, Multnomah Falls area, and they finally opened some of that up. So we're able to take a look at some of the areas that burned in the Eagle Creek fire. And surprising, I totally thought Multnomah Falls was going to be closed. And when we went sailing by at 60 and rain and semis and everything, and we looked over there and there was people, like a lot of construction equipment. So they're kind of shoring things up and making it good. So I don't know if the lodge is open. We didn't stop because we sailed right past the entrance. Only one of two entrances is open. The entrance on the freeway is open. The other entrance they had closed.
Which is off the historic highway. Yeah,
off the historic Columbia River Highway, and that's why I thought it was going to be closed.
Oh, okay.
Because they had a guard there keeping people out. But in any case, got a little sidetracked. What else are we going to cover?
Well, I think we just would love to hear more input from our listeners.
Yeah, your input is really valuable to what we're doing, so make sure and connect with us. We absolutely love doing the interviews and talking with overlanders around the world. That's been amazing. But at the end of the day, the reason we do this is for you. So reach out. You can send us a direct message on Instagram. You can message us on Facebook, or you can do the old-fashioned email at GHTOverland@gmail.com and let us know what you'd like to hear, what we can do different, whether it's specific subjects, topics,
or maybe specific countries or areas of your liking, like specifically if it's overland travelers out of Colorado or even North Carolina, you name it. There's no guarantees that we can pinpoint specifically, but we'll get as close as we can. We want to make sure that the GHT Overland podcast is interactive as much as possible.
Yeah, because I think that'd be a lot of fun. I'm sure that there are podcasts that do that. I haven't yet listened to one that does, but how cool would it be if our listeners can also dictate sort of what some of that substance in the interviews are? So we've heard a lot of great feedback from many of you, and we really do appreciate it with how much you're enjoying the podcast. And it's just fantastic. But if you're wanting to hear certain things, just let us know. Shoot us a message, and we'll see what we can do to kind of turn some of those things, or to speak with specific people that have expertise in doing that, to give you, our listener, more of a better inside view. Does that wrap it up pretty good?
Yeah. It's well, and there might be somebody specific that we haven't featured yet that they might be looking forward to as well.
True. There is. For instance, like we had a couple from Germany contact us a couple days ago, and I think it was 3 different people that they recommended. They're like, we haven't been overlanding very long, but we would love to hear from these people who have, based on your interview format. So know that you can reach out, and we'll do that. And as well, if there's specific topics like maybe weather apps that you're interested in, or mapping in general, or people that are in the industry that you want to hear from and get some expertise from, not as paid advertising spots, but as added value to you from people we know and trust that are just simply making really great products. So I'm excited about those episodes and putting those together and getting those released out, and I hope those provide people a lot of value. Let's talk a little bit about our release dates and kind of how we're going to be changing that up a little bit.
I agree. Along the line, it's for better consistency. Is that what we're after?
Yeah. So what we're going to be doing is changing our release dates. Currently, we release episodes every other Thursday, and we're going to switch to releasing episodes every Thursday.
What? Can you explain that a little more?
So we release episodes. The thought process was Thursdays are good because then for sure it's going to be downloaded on your phone or wherever you download podcasts. And when you go on your adventure for the weekend, a weekend trip or a 5-year trip, while you've got cell service, it's going to be downloaded so that you can listen to it during your trip. In any case, apparently every other Thursday is not a good idea in the name of consistency. So says iTunes, Google, and all the powers that be. So our listeners will get the same amount of content in the same amount of time. They're just going to get one episode a week early.
Okay.
And then the other one will follow up on the next Thursday.
Perfect.
Because things we learn as new podcasters, consistency is important, and so we will do that. And I think that'll also make sure that we're not having to pay for advertising to promote the podcast. It will hopefully just show up, what do they call them? The spiders or robots or whatever.
Web spider robot.
Web spider, whatever. So those technical people can work that out. But that's what we're going to be doing. So expect that. Just know that every Thursday you're going to have a episode release with really solid, good content, really good stories and learning, and hopefully a little entertainment.
At 2:30 in the morning.
Depending on where people live, yes.
Okay. So, take us back a little bit, because what are some of those highlights that you like the most?
Highlights on episodes we've already released?
Yeah.
Misha was amazing. Just a really fun guy to talk to. Misha was from the Netherlands, and the information he went through from philanthropy and providing flu shots for an entire village for the school was super amazing. And just his philosophy of going out and experiencing the adventure of overlanding and the importance of just going out and doing it. And if one of the things he said is if you plan too long, you're going to be at retirement age and you're not going to be able to do it.
That's a good one.
So just save up whatever money you need to save up and just go do it. The other one we did was with GHT Overland, and they're from Oregon, so that was pretty cool. And solid advice. If you're thinking of doing an expedition style trip with a group of people, these guys retraced the Oregon Trail, as much of it off-road as possible. And you're going to learn from that episode all the challenges they had, the planning that worked, the planning that didn't work, and you're going to be moons ahead. Strides ahead? Moons ahead? I don't know. You're going to be way ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
By listening to that episode and learning from what they did. So, just a really good group of guys, Jason and Chris. And also check out, Chris has started, he's a survival expert, and he's started his own Instagram channel. I think he's on Facebook as well, with Wayward Survival. This guy is top notch. He really knows his stuff. So if you're looking for survival information, be sure and check that out. So pretty fun stuff.
That's a lot of information.
Well, the information is unquestionably, just jam-packed with really good info.
Yeah.
And some really funny stories, too. We had some good laughs.
And then some hairy moments, I hear.
Yes. Jason and Chris with GHT Overland, there was a point they were going down a scree slope, and with their vehicles, if anything minutely went wrong, someone was going to die.
Well,
it was like no joke, serious stuff. So that was a great... Yeah, both these episodes are just amazing.
So, do you want to touch base a little bit on what's coming up?
I don't know. Can we tell the stuff is that like giving away your secrets?
Well, if we keep it short.
That's awesome. Yeah, we are a very open book, so no secrets here. 2 episodes that are in the books, wrapping up the editing, and they will be released. Both of them, again, absolutely amazing. We talked to Hein from Amsterdam. Now, Hein owned a company producing large overland trucks. So his insight on equipment, maintenance, seriously, we could not have hoped for something better. So if you're looking for information on building a truck or just simply maintaining it or the importance of that, he goes through all of our other questions from philanthropy, which was really super interesting and really amazing, to some cooking with chicken, vegetables. I don't remember the area on top of my head, but it was super amazing. And then we talked to GHT Overland with Jack and Christina. And actually, now that I think about it, you couldn't be there for either of these episodes, so it was just me.
Yeah, I was a bit bummed out.
Yeah, we need to make sure and get our schedules so that you can be there.
Yeah.
But in any case, Jack and Christina, they're just simply fun to talk to. Just a wonderful younger couple with the tenacity to get out and explore. They're currently in Portugal. They're cleaning up beaches, and just a laid-back, fun couple to talk to. So if you're younger and hungry for adventure, without question, mark this one down for inspiration and learning from their experiences. They're out doing it, and hats off to them.
So with the possible podcast first ever.
Yeah, and I don't know, but this is a really weird one. It could be a first. I would love input if somebody's heard something like this before. You will hear how our podcast, three drunk Portugal surfers in an unexpected late night vehicle collision, all happened at once before our interview. It sounds
That's
like
pretty awesome.
Like a joke at a bar somebody would give. Three drunk Portugal. Oh, super entertaining. So I'm going to leave it at that. You got to tune in and listen to the episode. Jack and Christina are just super fantastic. Be sure to, I'll give you a little preview, check out their YouTube channel, and you can kind of get a sneak peek of who this wonderful couple is. Just look up GHT Overland, and you got to put it all together so that YouTube can figure out that you're not looking for JK like a Jeep, but that you're looking for Jack and Christina, GHT Overland, bunch it all as one big word, and they'll pop up.
Oh, that could be tricky.
Yeah, well, and also I was just thinking, you can go to our Instagram page. Facebook has been a little challenging to keep up with for me lately, but for sure you can go to Instagram and you'll see that little preview there, and you'll be able to track them down that way too.
Oh, good.
And I think that's it. Is there anything else that you want to cover on this little extra update episode?
No, I think just, thanking for us working hard, getting episodes pulled together, and keep them coming.
All right, very good.
So we'll see you next Thursday for the next episode of the GHT Overland podcast. So remember to subscribe, rate, and review. Bye.